Linda, what have officers found on that property today?
Well, Tembegile, details are still quite sketchy at this stage, rather. And of course, we have just arrived on the scene, and it does seem as though moments ago that the police made what seems like a major drug bust here in the leafy suburbs of Randburg. I'm just going to move out of shot and ask my colleague Tom Sangla to just give you a view at this stage of the house. We are on Vine Avenue here in Randburg, and the house number is number 35. If you can see just past the gate, we do have police officials inside that are busy conducting what will be a forensic assessment of the house. And what we also understand, of course, is that it does seem as though the suspects may have gotten wind of the police possibly coming through to make this bust, but to just give us more details around what's going on inside, because at this stage we cannot be allowed inside. I am going to bring in my guest, the police's K. Makubele. Thank you for joining us. So I understand you don't have many details at this stage, or you can't tell us much, but what can you tell us about what police have at least found inside this house?
Well, what I can tell you is that we have been observing the house for some time. Today, the police went in and they found that the people who are residing in the house, they jump out and ran away. But however, we have found the big machines which are made to make these drugs, and also some drugs which are still already made, and there are some powders which are ready to be processed for the drugs. But however, we are still conducting our investigation to make sure and find out who are these people and where they are, so that we can follow them up.
I understand, of course, that the suspects did flee the scene. What's happening at this stage in order to try and find them, and how did the police become aware of this particular house? Because, I mean, it's right in the middle of a residential area. In fact, it's right in front of a church even.
Yes, indeed. We have been following the information. We have been given the information. Our intelligence have been on the ground to observe and see if indeed these are the house which is used for the drugs. And now, if you can see inside, there are these big new machines which were made to be set up for the processing of the drugs. But however, we are happy because now we have stopped that before it can be a big laboratory for manufacturing drugs in this area.
And at this stage, we don't know the value of the drugs, the street value possibly?
No, we don't know the street value, as we are indicating that we are waiting for the forensic, we are waiting for the other stakeholders to process the scene. So we believe as much as we are going forward, we will know what exactly is the value of everything which is found in the house.
And in terms of what kind of drug that was being manufactured, do we have any information on that?
Well, as much as I heard, they are talking about a cat, and they are talking about a cake. So we don't know what type of drugs are that. But those who are working with it, they know, and we believe after they have processed everything, they will tell us exactly what type of drugs are inside.
And lastly, the owner of the house, any idea, or do the police have any idea who it may be?
The information, yes, we have the information of the owner, and we believe the police will follow it up, and the owner will be brought to book.
All right. Just lastly, Brake, we have been seeing a number of these drug busts by the police. Is this part of the operation that you've been conducting for some time now? I think it is Buya Mteto.
Yes, indeed. As much as you know from last year, and the Premier have launched the Operation Ukaimlau. And that operation is led by the Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant Elias General Mawela, who's conducting and sending the intelligence around the area to identify those places where there are these type of things, so that we can hit and make sure that those people are arrested.
All right, thank you so much. We'll catch up with you a bit later, Brake. Thank you. All right, that is the latest from the scene, Tembegile. As you can hear, not a lot that can be told by the police, but it does seem as though a cat manufacturing lab has just been stopped here. One that was actually starting up, that was receiving new equipment. In fact, I did hear from one of the police officers that it doesn't even seem like anybody was really living inside the house, but that it was really a drug manufacturing lab. But we will hopefully have more details around the owner of this property and exactly whether and how far investigations are in order to find the suspects that have fled the scene.
All right, Cindy Lomas again, our reporter live for us in Randburg, Johannesburg.